Imagine a world where every goal you set is within your reach, where your most ambitious dreams become tangible realities, and where the power to transform your life lies in your own hands. Reaching Your Goals by Christian D. Larson is not just a text, it's a magical key to unlocking your highest potential. Through words filled with inspiration and wisdom, Larson will guide you to discover how your mind, thoughts, and intentions can become the most powerful tools to achieve anything. As you listen, you'll feel a spark of possibilities ignite within you. Get ready to explore transformative techniques, fill yourself with boundless confidence, and embrace success like never before. This is more than a text. It's the beginning of an extraordinary journey toward the life you've always dreamed of. The destination of your goals is closer than you think. Having ideals is natural and simple for our minds. It is as instinctive as living and forms an essential part of our existence. However, turning these ideals into reality is a complex challenge. We can all dream of perfection and the sublime, but not everyone knows how to materialize these dreams in the practical world. Throughout history, many great philosophers and thinkers have been unable to apply their lofty ideas to daily life. It wasn't due to a lack of desire, but rather the inability to connect their ideals with reality. Even the greatest thinker of the last century acknowledged his inability to employ, in everyday life, the laws and principles discovered in the ideal realm. Yet he was confident that others would find a way to apply these principles, and his vision has been fulfilled. To understand the connection between the real and the ideal, we need inner vision and the capacity for scientific analysis, alongside the ability to practically apply this knowledge. While it is rare to find a prophet and a scientist in the same person, it is possible to develop both capabilities. A broad and developed mind can envision the ideal and understand how to make it real. Today, many people are bridging the gap between the ideal and the real, transforming their environments into something as beautiful as the visions of a prophet. The ideal life is not exclusive to a select few. We should all learn to progress from current imperfections to the ideal world we dream of. The challenge for beginners in modern metaphysics is understanding how to make their ideals a reality. Although they recognize the possibility of achieving their desires, they often wonder how. This is where simple and universal methods come into play, methods rooted in eternal laws that anyone with perseverance can use. To move forward, we must overcome the tendency to lose faith when results don't arrive immediately. Many feel discouraged when facing the distance between their current reality and their ideals. However, we must maintain unwavering faith that we will reach our goals no matter how distant they may seem. Even in moments of doubt, we must remember that fear and discouragement delay our progress. Therefore, we must stay focused on our goals and persist, knowing that every step brings us closer to realizing our dreams. When we feel down, time seems to drag on, but in elevated states, the weight transforms into joy. Every time we succumb to fear or doubt, we delay our progress. It is crucial to understand that giving up only makes the journey to our goals harder. Action is necessary for advancement. Delaying it only amplifies obstacles. A mind that gives up weakens itself, whereas pursuing our ideals elevates us to higher mental states. The belief that achieving the ideal is impossible is an illusion rooted in fear. Adopting a positive and determined attitude propels our progress. Moving forward consistently helps us evolve toward our ideal. The key is to realize our ideal in the present, becoming increasingly like it. Many think perfection is unattainable or will take too long, but this belief only hinders progress. In reality, we can reach our ideal much faster if we advance with determination and confidence in each present moment. If we devote our time and energy to practical self-development, instead of merely yearning and waiting, we can quickly become our ideal selves. This is because we attract what we reflect internally. When we transform ourselves into our ideal, we see the beauty in the world around us. Instead of just longing, we must begin developing our ideal immediately within our own nature. We don't need to wait to see if it will become real. The secret is to start being like our ideals right now. When we rebuild ourselves according to our ideal, we begin to realize it. True progress is constant and experienced in the present moment, without worrying about time. Living in eternal progress means advancing steadily and experiencing joy in that progress. A discouraged mind lives in emptiness, but those who live in constant growth experience a life filled with the good, the beautiful, and the ideal. Time seems long when we don't use it to pursue our highest purpose. Everyone has different ideals, and we can develop them within ourselves day by day. If we understand and apply the principles to make our ideals real, we can achieve them at any moment. When we discern an ideal, it means we have the power to realize it now. Those who haven't found their ideals should strengthen their own ideal nature. If we turn our ideals into positive forces, our dreams will come true. Our purpose is to ascend toward the enriching, the beautiful, and the sublime. To acquire an ideal, we must be like that ideal. If we seek better friends, we must be better friends. If we desire achievements, we must develop skills and power. The secret is to become a more capable and valuable person. The world needs capable individuals and will provide everything necessary to create them. Train your mind to focus on the highest ideals and model your life accordingly. Consider the ideal as if it were real, and you will see it manifest in your reality. How to start? 1. Cultivate stillness. When you commit to pursuing an ideal life, you understand that personal growth is fundamental to progress. Cultivating inner peace in all areas of your life is crucial. Tranquility is essential for proper development. So living, thinking, acting, and speaking in peace are key elements. This prepares you to use your energy effectively without waste. To achieve peace, practice self-control in all your actions, and don't worry about results. Relax effortlessly, allowing tranquility to envelop you. Breathe softly, and focus on peace. Before sleeping, relax your mind and body, visualizing calmness. These methods can yield surprising results in a short time. 2. Rejoice and be glad. Joy nurtures both mind and body and has healing properties. Maintaining a cheerful attitude is a significant accomplishment with benefits in all aspects of life. Believing that everything conspires for your good influences your reality. Seek the positive in everything, even in dark situations. Train your mind to see the good, developing an inner light that strengthens you to overcome obstacles. Focus on the positive and cultivate joy as an antidote to worry. Joy increases vitality and prevents paralyzing anxiety. Find harmony and celebrate life's wonders for a fulfilling existence. 3. Love everyone and be kind. To keep your path filled with positive experiences, practice kindness. If you give your best to the world, you'll receive the best in return. Even if results don't come immediately, continue to be kind and don't get discouraged. Avoid harboring unwanted thoughts as they will attract more of the same. Anger disturbs mental peace and negatively affects the body. Finding fault in others only creates conflict. Instead, be kind and compassionate. Universal kindness is the path to happiness and inner peace. Love everyone unconditionally, and you'll receive the best in return. 4. Have faith in abundance. Have faith in God, in humanity, in yourself, and in faith itself. Believe in the best of everything. Self-confidence is important, but faith is even deeper and more powerful. It elevates our minds to greater possibilities and drives immediate action. Faith doesn't wait passively. It takes steps with the belief of achieving its goal. Those who work with faith access unlimited resources and advance beyond perceived limits. Don't doubt. Recognize that you have access to the infinite. Unshakable faith can elevate the lives of thousands and turn failure into success. Cultivate faith in abundance. Cultivating faith in abundance opens the door to a new and better life. 5. Pray without ceasing. True prayer is yearning for the best while focusing the mind on the supreme. Living in constant alignment with this yearning is unceasing prayer. If you desire a great life, nurture elevated and genuine desires. Incorporate silence into your daily life to elevate your thoughts and consciousness. Sit comfortably and guide your mind toward tranquility. Affirm calmly that peace is yours. In this inner state, every thought and desire becomes powerful. Practice silence daily to realign your thinking and connect with the divine. Living in touch with your inner world allows you to experience constant peace and the realization of your highest desires. 6. Think the truth. Holding true thoughts leads us to a crucial turning point. Recognizing that we are spiritual beings created in God's image, endowed with divine attributes like wisdom, love, and power. To affirm otherwise is to think incorrectly. Illnesses and problems arise from such mistaken thoughts. Perfect health is our true and permanent nature. Negative appearances are merely the result of incorrect thinking. By thinking the truth, we recognize our perfection and that of others, inspiring us to live in truth and fullness. 7. Live in the Spirit. Living in the Spirit means dwelling at the highest level of mind and thought, where everything is positive and true. Initially, this simple shift will completely transform life, even before fully understanding higher spiritual consciousness. Over time, this meaning deepens, bringing a broader and clearer experience. As we begin to think truthfully, illusions and false beliefs gradually fade. We come to recognize ourselves as spiritual beings living in the present, within both a physical and spiritual world. The essence of spirit is in all things being absolutely good and perfect. To live in the Spirit is to understand the goodness and harmony of the universe, transcending the material and rising beyond what we can imagine, demonstrating that spirit is the essence of all existence. This is a scientific fact that anyone who applies principle can experience. First steps toward an ideal life. Give your best to the world. No matter how small it may seem, giving enriches both your life and the lives of others. Giving goes beyond the material. It means offering your best from the heart. By living authentically and giving your best at all times, you become a source of inspiration for others. True love manifests in action, constantly seeking the well-being of others. This genuine love profoundly impacts individuals and society as a whole, benefiting both the giver and the receiver, fostering personal satisfaction and spiritual growth. Passion and dedication in what you do are key to a fulfilling life. Striving for excellence and improvement in all areas allows you to make a meaningful difference and have a positive impact on the world. Trust in others. Having positive expectations of others and treating them with kindness and respect fosters deeper and more meaningful relationships. While exceptions may arise, genuine trust in others often results in love, kindness, and sincere companionship. Living in constant fear and confusion affects both ourselves and those around us. Our mental state influences others. If we transmit insecurity, we might cause others to make the very mistakes we fear. Conversely, trusting people encourages them to trust themselves, reducing errors and improving performance. Authentic self-confidence stems from faith in human greatness. Those who trust themselves also trust others and expect the best from them. This not only benefits personal growth, but also creates a positive mental environment that fosters collective development. Seek the best in every situation. Focusing on the best outcomes leads to positive results. By maintaining this mindset, you attract favorable opportunities and environments while enriching your mind with thoughts of excellence. On the other hand, dwelling on the negative only leads to more negativity and unfavorable outcomes. Though adapting to this principle may take time, persisting in seeking the best in every situation leads to constant improvement and more rewarding experiences. This approach not only transforms our own lives, but also positively influences the world around us. Accepting present circumstances. It is crucial to accept current circumstances, even if they are not ideal, while working toward greater goals. Constantly fighting against what we dislike binds us to those very circumstances. Aligning with what is and making peace with it helps us move forward. To progress, we must make the most of the present, which we cannot do without accepting what we have. Even the things we dislike serve a purpose. They propel us toward our ideals, like a horse carrying us to our desired destination. Treating what is available with kindness and utilizing it helps us advance. Understanding that everything can drive our progress allows us to view the world with new eyes and appreciate it. Valuing what we have ensures that everything cooperates with us, accelerating our journey toward our goals. Making the most of what is available now provides a valuable starting point for achieving what we desire. Value the present moment. Recognizing and appreciating the good in everything connects us to its true worth and allows us to attract greater well-being into our lives. Accepting the good we can receive now enhances the value of our lives and opens us to receive even more. The process of accepting current circumstances may not satisfy those who desire quick or effortless results. However, those who prefer gradual progress will find value in each step of their journey toward their goals. This is not about resignation, but about recognizing the value of what we have and using it to achieve what we want. Adopting a mindset of making the most of all opportunities positively impacts the mind and character. It transforms everything into something beneficial, resulting in continuous character development and a more capable mind. By valuing everything that enters our lives, we receive what is necessary to live an ideal life. Live in a state of joy. Living in a state of joy, even intentionally building it into our actions, connects us with more pleasurable experiences. Maintaining a positive attitude surrounds us with things that bring us happiness. Downplaying unpleasant circumstances reduces their impact on our lives, while focusing on what is pleasant attracts more of it. Joy is essential for mental development. A joyful mind is sharper and more creative. However, the power and quality of the mind are equally important. By cultivating authentic mental brilliance, our minds will be filled with bright ideas essential for a great and successful life. Joy benefits not only the body, but also enhances the mind. To achieve it, it's crucial to remember that joy comes from within, not from external circumstances. Create a joyful world in your imagination by visualizing the brightest aspects of life and filling your mind with joy. Over time, this practice will become ingrained in your being. The primary influence of joy is on the mind, making it sharper and more creative. A joyful mind learns and understands better. While joy is not the only factor for developing a brilliant mind, it is essential. Without it, the power and quality of the mind cannot be fully expressed. It is like the sun nourishing the earth. No matter how fertile the soil, it remains barren without light. Many fertile minds are unproductive due to a lack of mental illumination. By cultivating brilliance, the world fills with bright ideas. Just as the acorn becomes the oak, brilliant ideas lead to a fulfilled life, and we can generate them through mental development. Live in the present. Make the present as enriching as possible. What you do now matters more than the past or future. Dedicate your efforts to the present moment to achieve meaningful actions. Avoid wasting time worrying about the future. Instead, focus on what you can do now. Positive results will follow. Those who devote themselves to valuable actions in the present need not worry about the future, as it will bring rewards. The greater the cause we address now, the greater our future impact. Much of daily worry revolves around tomorrow, but these worries fade when we act in the present. Rather than worrying, develop your current skills to face any challenge. Recognize that the present is distinct from the past. Fully living in the now provides a richer and happier life without wasting energy on what was or what might be. Avoid complaints and criticism. Adopt a constructive attitude. A critical mind destroys itself and fills with negativity. Complaining doesn't solve problems, it worsens them. The more we complain, the worse our circumstances become. Faith in people attracts opportunities and improves conditions. Seizing every opportunity connects us with remarkable individuals and strengthens our character. Never oppose anything. Resistance only strengthens what is opposed. Adopt an attitude that promotes good rather than living antagonistically. Opposition damages the mind and body, draining our energy. Even when we believe we are right, indignation is never justified. Resentment toward beliefs or systems of thought weakens the mind and leads to failure. Avoid harboring grudges against religions, beliefs, or people. They do no harm and contribute nothing to our well-being. Be friendly with the universe and promote good. Overcome evil with good. This is the path to individual and collective emancipation. Inspire humanity through actions rather than opposition. Seek the kingdom of God first. Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Matthew 6:33. The spiritual kingdom within each of us reveals divine righteousness. By prioritizing this kingdom, everything necessary will be added. The spiritual life is the source of a fulfilled existence. The outer world reflects the inner. We manifest what we are conscious of. Seeking the inner kingdom means living in communion with the spiritual in all actions. This does not exclude enjoying the outer world, but living in harmony with all laws. Discovering inner riches is crucial, but their proper use is equally important. Living spiritually in all areas of life allows their full value to manifest. Harmony with physical laws means adapting externally without resistance, using forces for development. Harmony with mental laws means thinking universal truth. Moral purity is living each action with the right motive and towards something elevated. Maintaining contact with the spiritual and making it a priority brings righteousness. The spiritual attitude connects with the supreme, reflected in every action. Righteousness encompasses all aspects of being, physical, mental, and spiritual. Only when aligned with spiritual law do the inner riches of personal life manifest. The kingdom of God, the source of all. The kingdom of God is the source of everything in human life. Seeking it first ensures everything necessary is added. Accessing the inner kingdom connects us with supreme wisdom, life, and power. Entering the infinite consciousness expands our mental and physical capacity, empowering us to achieve any task. Those who undertake valuable work attract positive things to their lives, enriching their existence. Entering the inner kingdom embraces freedom, releasing us from adversity. Seeking first the kingdom and God's righteousness brings total emancipation and perfect freedom in all areas of life. It is the source of all talents and greatness. Spiritual poverty can dissipate when we fully embrace a spiritual life. Focusing on the spiritual develops greater capacity and skill, eliminating the root causes of poverty and increasing rewards. Seeking the kingdom helps correct errors and guides us towards suitable occupations. It expands our perspective, revealing opportunities and resources we once overlooked. We experience peace, harmony, and abundance instead of adversity and constant need. Dwelling on mental darkness perpetuates poverty and misfortune. Transforming adversity into opportunity allows us to focus on the inner kingdom, where peace and higher power reside. Keep the spirit as your priority. Even amid positive changes, staying centered on spiritual priorities prevents us from being distracted by material benefits. By prioritizing the spirit, everything in our lives becomes spiritualized, gaining greater power and value. Living in harmony with spiritual heights ensures we receive blessings at the optimal time and enjoy them to the fullest. Aligning with the spiritual resolves life's challenges and elevates existence. Promoting this law benefits humanity by gradually eradicating the evils that plague the world, transforming earth into a manifested heavenly kingdom. Inspiring the human mind with the thought of the kingdom and divine righteousness is essential. By prioritizing the spiritual, everything else aligns with our lives. Achieving this requires conscious effort to live in harmony with life's laws. What we receive is proportional to what we give and the quality of our work. Entering spiritual life provides what is necessary to fulfill our desires and live fully. By seeking first the kingdom, everything else is granted, opening the way to the best that life offers. Harmony is key to turning ideals into reality. Maintaining it maximizes results and minimizes errors. Those who live harmoniously achieve significantly more than others. Discord drains, while harmony accumulates energy and joy. Even in difficult times, living in harmony, even during challenging moments, attracts what we deserve. Achieving this requires inner peace and external consistency in thoughts, words, and actions. Sacrificing for harmony is worthwhile because anything lost is regained in a sweeter, richer form. Living in harmony brings goodness and benefits to all. A harmonious mind performs superior work and fosters personal growth. There is no excuse for allowing discord. It can easily be avoided. Tension does not solve problems. It only hinders progress. Religion does not demand emotional exaltation in the face of challenges. Harmony is key to success. Modern education does not teach how to use the mind to attain health, happiness, and harmony. Independent thinking is essential for achieving greatness and success. Cultivating mental harmony. To cultivate mental harmony, it is crucial to understand that what disturbs us is not what happens, but how we interpret it. Our perspective determines our reaction to situations. We can choose to see the positive side of things, which leads to calmness. This approach reduces discord and prevents mental disturbance. Maintaining a harmonious attitude allows us to face any situation with serenity and success. Our mindset influences how circumstances respond to our desires. Understanding these mental laws is vital. Maintaining constant faith in positive outcomes is key. Trying to dominate situations may be counterproductive and temporary. Instead, accepting them fosters lasting harmony. Sometimes a dominant mind temporarily attracts superior things, but once its tendencies become evident, those things are repelled. The law of attraction guides natural processes. To achieve genuine success, we must work in harmony with it. If we seek what is superior, we must elevate ourselves, as like attracts like. To attract the ideal, we must embody and live it. Forcing things does not work. It only attracts the inferior. Harmony in all areas. This principle applies at individual, national, and institutional levels. Domination limits, while freedom fosters growth. A dominant attitude repels valuable things and harms the mind. The key is to live in harmony with the best and approach everything with a positive attitude. Finding the good in every situation strengthens both the mind and character. Through positive anticipation, we rise in life, transforming even disappointments into opportunities for good. Those who doubt should try this approach and will discover it is based on precise scientific facts. By overcoming disappointments, they will see that challenges elevate them and work in their favor, helping them achieve their goals. All is well mindset. Living with the attitude that all is well and consistently affirming this belief helps us advance toward realizing our desires. When we face disappointments with this mindset, we see them as opportunities to find better possibilities. In contrast, those who expect bad luck attract it with their negative thoughts. Our expectations are fulfilled when they are filled with the force of life and soul. What we believe to be our destiny is what we create for ourselves. Those who fear misfortune attract it with their mindset. We must train our minds to expect the best in all circumstances. When our minds expect the best, we have faith that what is right will prevail. Through this attitude, all mental forces work toward fulfilling our desires, as long as we remain focused on the ideal. Forgiveness, the first step to emancipation. Forgiveness is crucial in all situations and always essential. It liberates us from mental burdens. While once considered a virtue, it is now recognized as a necessity. Forgiving others and ourselves frees us from resentment and mental strain. Forgiveness clears the mind of erroneous thoughts and adverse attitudes, leading to purity. Self-forgiveness is as important as forgiving others. To achieve liberation, we must practice the art of letting go in our minds. Releasing resentment and guilt purifies the mind. Absolute forgiveness eliminates suffering and problems. Forgiving constantly strengthens character and removes obstacles from the mind. Rather than weakening, absolute forgiveness expands the mind and allows the greatness of the soul to emerge. A true character is not shown in hostility but in building what is good. By focusing on the good, evil becomes powerless. Forgiving all for everything is essential to eliminating evil in the world. Compassion and the higher love. Releasing the mind from negative thoughts increases mental capacity. Those who forgive easily are on the path to greater wisdom. Absolute forgiveness leads to a better, more fulfilling life, removing obstacles and allowing significant personal growth. Forgiveness attracts good and avoids adversity. It enables us to discard the trivial and embrace the essential. Simplifying forgiveness methods is crucial so everyone can master this sublime skill. Understanding cause and effect. We cannot know everything to forgive everything, so we must adopt a new perspective. Examining the law of cause and effect reveals that it is impossible to place blame solely on one individual. Each person's life is influenced by multiple factors, making the search for root causes fruitless. Instead of blaming, we must forgive. Moving beyond punishment. Punishment is ineffective and misguided. Instead, we should help those who err to recover. We should not hate or condemn, but treat them with compassion, as we would someone who is ill. To overcome hostility toward wrongdoers, we must cultivate a higher love that embraces all beings. Forgiveness does not mean allowing others to do as they please. It means wishing for their improvement and well-being. By combining reason and love, forgiveness becomes a natural response. Practicing absolute forgiveness is essential for achieving an emancipated life and fulfilling higher ideals. Perpetual growth and gratitude. The universe overflows with blessings, satisfying every heart's desires and more. Discovering this abundance is simple. Our purpose is not to lament, but to enjoy life. Recognizing the bitter while preferring the sweet is a challenge, but we can free ourselves from life's sorrows. Often we complicate existence unnecessarily. Living is simple, and happiness comes when our hearts are fulfilled. Gratitude is the key. Those who are ungrateful may become stagnant. Living in communion with the infinite leads to fulfillment. Gratitude connects us with the good and the beautiful, increasing our blessings. Constant thankfulness aligns us with the source of our blessings and the laws of life. Being grateful allows us to grow and seize life's opportunities. Gratitude connects us with the best life has to offer, helping us reach our full potential. Deep gratitude rooted in the soul has extraordinary power to bring us into a more perfect relationship with life and to fully embrace its richness. Focus on the best. Focusing on the best gradually transforms us into what we think about most. A grateful mind constantly seeks the best and develops in its image. Everything works for good when we consistently expect good in all things. Cultivating the habit of gratitude for everything that comes to us is essential. Living in perpetual gratitude and expressing it sincerely brings us closer to achieving our aspirations. Thanksgiving is an essential part of a meaningful life and leads to a continuous increase in blessings. Consider the lilies. Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Matthew 6:28 and 29. Being authentic in the present moment is the most valuable act one can perform for humanity's benefit and personal growth. Concentrating on the present, like the oak that grows without worrying about the past or future, allows us to grow steadily and serenely. By being authentic in the present, we allow ourselves to be the best we can be in each moment without excessive effort or struggle. The lilies of the field teach us this valuable secret. By allowing what is within us to be fully expressed, we naturally manifest our innate greatness. The lily's beauty lies in its ability to unobstruct the expression of its inherent beauty. Similarly, when we stop overexerting ourselves and let life flow, we can achieve our fullness and contribute to humanity's well-being. Authentic greatness. The secret is to let our true inner greatness manifest fully. By freeing ourselves from personal limitations and allowing life to flow through us, we achieve a complete life. Valuing the beauty of nature teaches us that true greatness is not achieved through personal ambition or hard work, but by letting our deepest essence express itself freely. In today's era, where ambition and external success are emphasized, it is crucial to recognize that authentic greatness comes from allowing our inner essence to shine without restraint. Reconnect with nature. Humanity often chases short-term goals without appreciating what it already has. It is vital to inspire others to reconnect with nature and live genuinely, as this changes everything. Many people are trapped in routines without reflection or understanding. We need living examples to show a harmonious path and demonstrate that effort is not always necessary to achieve great things. Hard work is often destructive. Living authentically leads to enjoyable and exceptional work. Allowing our inner divinity to manifest makes us more spiritual. The pursuit of truth requires a connection with the eternal, clarity in personal goals, and health, happiness, and harmony. Let life flow. To achieve health, happiness, and harmony, we simply need to let life flow. These qualities already exist in reality and express themselves when we let life flow through us. It is also essential to decide to be content with living fully without obsessing over fame or global recognition. Many have sought fame without finding happiness, as true happiness comes from our inner life, not external recognition. True fame comes to those who deserve it without striving for it. Only those who have given their best consistently serving and inspiring others earn humanity's respect. Living authentically, reflecting our true selves, is essential. Work with joy. Like the lilies of the field which remain true to themselves, we can apply new ideas even amidst conventional mindsets. How we work determines our results. Allowing our inner power to flow through us makes work enjoyable and leads to excellence rather than exhaustion. By living in alignment with these principles, we prepare for the future while fully enjoying the present. Expressing our inner power allows us to grow constantly and achieve our goals. Living authentically connects us to our higher selves, capable of fulfilling our desires. With this connection, we face every situation with confidence and faith, knowing that everything works for our good. Even in difficult moments, we see growth opportunities and welcome the new with confidence, knowing that authenticity brings abundance. Joy in all things. Often we find ourselves in situations we wish were different. When we have high ideals, we may feel dissatisfied or even frustrated. Conversely, with low ideals, we might remain indifferent, only to see things worsen later. Everyone seeks well-being and a better environment, but we wonder how to achieve this in a confusing world filled with problems. Indifference to evil allows it to worsen. Transforming challenges. We must act against adverse conditions in our homes, societies, and states. However, confronting, criticizing, or condemning rarely helps and harms our peace and health. A critical approach exhausts us while the problem persists. Disappointment when the world does not meet our expectations weakens our minds and bodies. Conventional resistance often strengthens the problem and traps us in conflict. Instead, as St. Paul said, we must find joy in everything. Accepting adversities without creating enemies or criticizing allows us to transform enemies into friends and failures into opportunities. Joyful perspective. When circumstances do not align with our desires, we must continue to see them with joy. Everything will change for our good, even if not immediately. Melancholy blinds us, but joy illuminates and attracts the good. If you do not receive what you sought, do not be disappointed. Consider everything a reason for joy, as something better awaits. Do not resist enemies. Seek agreements, and you will rise while attracting the best. Find happiness in every task and face challenges with confidence. You are capable of overcoming them and becoming exceptional if you view life with joy. Growth through joy. When facing temptations, rejoice sincerely. They are opportunities to transform negatives into positives. This is a sign of greatness. While many live without recognition, they could have been leaders and saviors had they shown their superiority amidst adversity. Transform temptations into opportunities for improvement and be glad to have them. Maintain joy at all times, as your results may benefit many. Those who transform negatives rise above, while those who settle for the ordinary remain below. Face everything with peace and joy, knowing you can improve and bless others. Train your mind to see everything as a reason for joy. Challenges are not to be rejected, but embraced as opportunities for growth. Happiness in every task. To reach your full potential, you must face seemingly insurmountable challenges. Avoiding responsibilities reveals latent weaknesses that you must overcome with enthusiasm. Every challenge or unpleasant task is an opportunity to grow and live a fuller life. Do not be disappointed if things do not go as expected. Decide to be happy in any situation, as disappointment comes from your attitude toward events, not the events themselves. Happiness comes from within. Happiness does not depend on possessions or events, but on our perception and attitude. We can create happiness at any moment, finding joy even in unexpected circumstances. Happiness depends on our present mental state, not actions or destinies. We can create the mindset we desire in any situation, whether in a modest attic or a grand ballroom. When circumstances are not as we prefer, we can learn to appreciate them and face challenges with the right attitude. Everything can transform into something positive when faced with joy, trusting that all works for our good. When asked to perform tasks, do not see them as obligations. Instead, approach them as your choice and accept them with joy. Do not think in terms of duty, but privilege. Prepare yourself with genuine desire and joy in your heart. When facing any task, do so with sincere desire and joy in your heart. If you feel aversion towards someone, recognize it as a weakness within yourself and overcome it immediately. Do not let such obstacles hold you back. A strong mind does not focus on imperfections but loves all that is created by God. Aversion to anything signals the presence of unreal illusions. Transform that hate into love to dissolve the illusion, and you will see things from a divine perspective. When someone seems unpleasant to you, conquer it with sincere love, forgiving their faults and recognizing their divine essence. True use of kindness and sympathy. The common use of sympathy often causes more harm than good. Conventional sympathy leads us to share in the suffering of others, which neither resolves their problems nor ours. Instead, it multiplies suffering by spreading it. To promote liberation and the greater good, we must understand the true purpose of sympathy. Sympathy itself is a noble virtue, but its improper application can increase suffering. We can use it more effectively by connecting with the strength of someone's soul, rather than focusing on the temporary weakness of their personality. Instead of dwelling on faults, we focus on the good, the right, and the beautiful we know exists in every person. Activating strength and goodness in others. When we mentally connect with the good in someone, we activate their power and strengthen their soul. This contributes to transforming weakness into strength, promoting health and harmony, and eliminating sickness and problems. In contrast, sharing someone's suffering does not alleviate their pain, it only doubles the suffering. By focusing on awakening what can remove their suffering, we preserve our own peace while actively contributing to their relief. This approach to sympathy strengthens both the individual and the practitioner, bringing true relief and well-being. True sympathy means taking action to completely eliminate the suffering of those in pain. Instead of merely sharing their suffering, we strive to eradicate its cause and effect by awakening the higher power within them that leads to liberation. The nature of suffering. Suffering originates from violations of life's laws, which are inherently incorrect. However, we cannot correct it by spreading the effects of wrongdoing among a wider group. Conventional sympathy tries to console one person by sharing their suffering with others, but the suffering of many cannot relieve one. True compassion involves helping the suffering person transcend their pain by addressing its root cause and transmitting genuine love. While some may think this new form of sympathy lacks warmth or love, it is actually conventional sympathy that lacks love. When we love someone who suffers, we radiate light and joy, taking tangible steps to alleviate their pain. The true purpose of sympathy. Authentic sympathy has a dual purpose: to stimulate the highest potential in others and ourselves, encouraging the manifestation of the inner divinity that enriches life, to awaken inherent qualities and courage in others, helping them recognize the supreme power of their own inner divinity. Empathizing with this greater force fosters harmony and contributes to a stronger, better, and more beautiful life, empowering those who suffer to free themselves from their burdens. Those who practice this form of sympathy are not insensitive. They embody the highest and most beautiful love. There is no happiness in shared suffering, but there is immense good in helping others liberate themselves from their pain. The power of authentic emotions. Genuine sympathy is neither cold nor merely intellectual. It is a heartfelt expression of the soul, radiating spiritual love and extraordinary liberating power. This principle must be applied to every type of emotion, as each emotion represents a movement of the mind that can either build better conditions or create unwanted ones. Expressions of genuine love, authentic joy, and spiritual feelings have a beneficial effect, while emotionalism is never healthy. Cultivating sublime emotions to their highest degree elevates thought, action, feeling, awareness, and desires above the ordinary. Balanced emotional expression. True joy from the heart is healthy and profound, whereas uncontrolled ecstasy and emotionalism lead to imbalance and do not create true happiness. Genuine love is always uplifting and constructive, channeling desires in a positive way. It must be distinguished from passionate desire, which can weaken if not infused with authentic love. Emotionalism drains energy and can cause physical and mental illnesses. Eliminating emotionalism, fear, anger, and worry leads to extraordinary increases in power, capability, and mental clarity. While intense emotional feelings can momentarily awaken latent potential, they can have effects similar to intoxicants, providing short-term feats but weakening long-term clarity and mental balance. Mastering emotions for spiritual growth. Directing emotions toward a higher conception of truth, life, and being prevents them from spiraling into emotionalism. Religious feelings, inherently human, must be directed upward to strengthen character, amplify power, and deepen every aspect of feeling. Controlling emotions and guiding them toward the spiritual heights of the soul allows us to live an intense yet harmonious life. This adds joy and ecstasy to a full, ascending existence. Those who master this art become a radiant flame of love, sympathy, and sublime emotion, accumulating strength, courage, and excellence in all aspects of life. Speaking of health, happiness, and prosperity. Speaking of happiness is essential at all times. During dark moments, persist in joy and share words of happiness to uplift others. By doing so, you not only improve your mental health and personality, but also bring light to those around you. Speaking of happiness ensures continuous joy and makes you a source of light in the vast garden of human experience. The world always needs more light, and speaking of happiness illuminates every corner. It rewards you in multiple ways, ensuring a constant flow of your own joy and inspiring others to follow the same path. Manifesting prosperity through speech and faith. Speaking of prosperity is crucial, especially in difficult times. By adopting a mindset of prosperity and sharing words of abundance, you begin to manifest it in your life. Unshakable faith in the power that creates abundance allows you to overcome adversity and achieve your highest goals. Health as a central topic. Health is a fundamental topic to discuss. By focusing on health instead of illness, we can maintain a state of well-being and help others do the same. Speaking of health promotes wellness and purifies conversations often filled with details about common ailments. The power of speaking about virtue. Speaking about virtue is essential to cultivate a more moral and ethical society. By highlighting the importance of virtue and living with the purpose of attaining purity, we can purify the minds of thousands and pass on the power of virtue to others. Constantly speaking of virtue is a powerful tool to influence the world around us. Even in moments of darkness, maintaining a focus on virtue allows us to remember the magnitude of good that persists in every corner. Your words have the power to change the course of human thought and inspire others to aspire to virtue. Every word you speak carries purpose and influence over those who listen. It is vital to be aware of the responsibility that comes with speaking and to use this power wisely. Whenever you express yourself, guide minds toward greater and better things, pointing the way to virtue and kindness, inspiring through virtue and goodness. Speaking of virtue not only inspires others but also helps us see reality through a clearer lens. In moments of complaint and lamentation, recalling the universal good present can free us from mental limitations and lead us to experience joy, happiness, and optimism in any circumstance. By adopting the right perspective and aligning with eternal good, we can dispel confusion and errors. Focusing on good in our thoughts and words allows us to multiply and nurture that good in our world and in the lives of others. The power of peaceful speech. Speaking of peace is essential for bringing calm and eliminating confusion. When we focus our minds on peace, we find serenity, and by sincerely speaking about peace, we inspire others to do the same. Success is a worthy goal. Success is a destination everyone should aspire to, and speaking of it inspires others with a spirit of achievement. Never declare something impossible. Instead, speaking of success opens the doors of possibility and encourages everyone to advance toward their highest goals. Fear of failure can be a significant obstacle, but we can eradicate it by talking about success. By keeping the idea of success before every mind we interact with, we become benefactors of humanity. Focusing on the future and leaving past mistakes behind allows us to move toward a more promising future. Speaking of success and prosperity propels us toward the ultimate goal of achievement and guides us toward what is possible. The responsibility of words. We are responsible for our words, which can change the destiny of any person. Focusing on the positive in every conversation is an infallible antidote to complaints and obstacles. By aligning our words with the laws of life and speaking of health, prosperity, power, and progress, we work in harmony with the universe and contribute to its great purpose. Speaking of what we wish to achieve influences both our path and that of others toward a fuller and more satisfying life. The immense power of words. Remember that the power of words is immense, both for the speaker and the listener. Train your mind to speak about your expectations, goals, and achievements, and channel that power to reach your objectives. Speak of health, happiness, and prosperity, and you will see your words become reality. The role of ideals in shaping destiny. The destiny of every person is forged minute by minute through the ideals they adopt at each moment. The future of an individual is not predetermined by external influences or a mysterious force accessible to only a few. It is the ideals that guide the course of life, and every mind houses its own ideals. Having ideals is not merely about dreaming or envisioning beyond current achievements, nor is it a concept reserved only for abstract thinkers. Having ideals means having defined goals, whether ambitious, modest, or somewhere in between. The ideals of a mind represent its true needs, genuine desires, or authentic goals. Since all normal minds live, think, and act according to what they value in the present, it is evident that consciously or unconsciously, every mind follows its ideals. Elevating ideals to elevate life. When ideals are modest or mediocre, the person works toward modest or mediocre results, and their efforts will reflect that quality. Low-quality ideals lead to similar outcomes in life. However, when ideals are elevated and superior, the person strives for greatness, develops excellence within themselves, and uplifts everything they create. Every action emerging from their life becomes a higher cause followed by similar effects. Self-creation through higher ideals. An individual's destiny is shaped by their essence and actions. What a person will be or do is determined by their life experiences, thoughts, and pursuits. Humans are not creations of external forces. They build themselves through the power of the forces and elements they use in their thoughts and actions. Those who live, think, and work toward higher ideals become superior beings, while those who settle for less experience an inferior existence. Therefore, any individual has the potential to grow, achieve more, and create a greater and more meaningful destiny by committing to living, thinking, and working based on superior ideals. The creative force within. The creative forces within a person naturally produce what the mind desires, yearns for, or aspires to achieve. These desires and aspirations are determined by the ideals embraced by the mind. The inherent forces in the human system will strive for excellence when the mind begins to adopt higher ideals. As these forces shape both the nature and destiny of the individual, embracing a higher and more comprehensive system of ideals ensures a superior nature and grander destiny. The importance of high conceptions. Maintaining superior ideals involves constantly visualizing the highest possible conception of everything one is aware of. Holding these higher conceptions in mind continuously means that predominant ideas become superior ideas, and it is these predominant ideas that govern our lives, thoughts, and actions. When predominant ideas are superior, the creative force of the mind will generate superior results in every aspect, faculty, talent, or ability. Greatness is cultivated in a mind that harbors elevated ideas. A great mind inevitably creates a magnificent destiny. Having superior ideals is not merely about dreaming of the impossible, but about mentally connecting with greater possibilities than we are currently capable of perceiving. The very fact that we can conceive of an ideal indicates that we have the potential to realize it. We are not aware of great possibilities until we develop the necessary capacity to turn them into practical and tangible results. Therefore, when we identify what is greatest, we are ready to achieve and attain it. However, before advancing toward what we are prepared to accomplish, we must exclusively embrace superior ideals. When our ideals are elevated, our thoughts constantly focus on what is superior, as our ideals shape our thoughts. The transformative power of superior ideals. To think constantly of what is superior means to grow continually toward the likeness of the superior. When ideals are very elevated, all the internal forces of the system work together toward higher achievements. All circumstances and aspects of life converge to achieve greatness on an ever-increasing scale, making continuous progress inevitable. Having superior ideals goes beyond inspiring greater personal achievements or maintaining beliefs that differ from the conventional. It means holding higher thoughts and ideas about everything around us. Those who achieve a high level of success reap a magnificent destiny, as remarkable achievements invariably forge a meaningful future. Contemplating anything inferior to the highest potential, or allowing the mind to cling to mediocrity, diminishes the impact of the superior ideals we have begun to embrace. Thus, it is essential to adopt exclusively the highest ideals and to disregard what is inferior or imperfect to achieve optimal results. The importance of singular focus. The reason most people fail to materialize their superior ideals is that they become distracted by too many inferior ideals simultaneously. They may aspire to the highest, admire beauty, yearn for perfection, and seek the best and greatest, but they do not focus their thoughts exclusively on these goals, which prevents them from reaching their aims. Superior idealism does not entertain any thought that is less than the grandest and most sublime that elevated minds can conceive. It does not embrace anything that does not pursue maximum value, power, and success. For the idealist, this conviction is not merely a feeling but a deep knowledge. They understand that all things will work in their favor when only the good is recognized, thought of, desired, and expected. They are clear that all things align toward the superior when every resource of life, thought, and action is directed toward achieving and realizing higher goals. Applying the principles of superior idealism to every aspect of life means advancing in all areas. To follow these higher ideals is to move toward the sublime, the greatest, and the most outstanding. No one can remain on this path for long without creating a new world, a better environment, and a grander destiny for themselves. Building a promising future. If you wish to build a more promising future, begin now by choosing higher ideals. Select the noblest and grandest ideals you can find and live them with absolute dedication. By doing so, you will ensure that everything within your being works toward what is highest, best, and greatest. What you focus on in the present will determine what the future becomes. Work tirelessly to achieve the greatest and best that you know now, and you will create a future of greatness and excellence. The law of abundance. To those who have, more will be given. The idea that abundance brings more abundance applies to all areas of life and every aspect of existence. The inverse is also true. Any loss leads to more losses. However, it is crucial to remember that humans have the capacity to halt either of these processes at any time and place. The deeper we sink into decline, the faster we fall into the depths. The higher we ascend, the easier it is to rise even further. When we begin to gain, we gain even more, because to those who have, more will be given. Conversely, when we start to lose, we continue losing because to those who lack, even what they have will be taken away. This is a powerful metaphysical law, and because it is metaphysical, humans have the power to use it as they desire. Consciousness as the root of possessions. The internal reality of a human being reflects in their external world. Therefore, whether we gain or lose externally depends on whether we are gaining or losing internally. The foundation of all possessions lies in a person's consciousness, not in external circumstances, laws, or conditions. If someone's consciousness focuses on accumulation, they will accumulate positively regardless of their location. Whether these riches are physical, intellectual, or spiritual depends on the structure of their mind. When the mind is more developed on the physical plane, accumulative consciousness will bring tangible possessions. When the mind is more developed on the intellectual or metaphysical plane, accumulative consciousness will attract an abundance of knowledge and wisdom. When the mind is more developed on the spiritual plane, accumulative consciousness will bring spiritual riches. The role of cumulative consciousness. No matter how competent one is on the physical plane, without a consciousness of accumulation, they will not acquire many possessions in this world. Similarly, no matter how diligently one seeks wisdom in higher spiritual realms, if their consciousness is not cumulative, they will not achieve much. They may even constantly lose knowledge of the truth on one end while striving to obtain it on the other. The secret to acquiring abundance in the material world lies in becoming adept in one's professional choices and developing a consciousness of accumulation. To gain mental and spiritual wealth, the secret is to cultivate a cumulative consciousness and dedicate all the powers of the mind and thought to spiritual matters. The oversight of spiritual seekers. In this era, many people have devoted their lives to attaining a higher state of being. However, few have achieved true riches in the spiritual realm. The reason is that they have neglected to develop their cumulative consciousness. In other words, they have overlooked the great law. To those who have, more will be given. Those who possess nothing will receive nothing, no matter how much devotion or beauty exists in their lives. However, having does not merely refer to external possession. Those with an awareness of abundance possess much, regardless of their material wealth. The foundation of all possessions. Before gaining anything, we must possess something. To possess something means to be conscious of it. We must be aware of internal possession before we can increase our possession in any aspect of life. All possessions are rooted in consciousness and are maintained or lost by it. All acquisition results from cumulative consciousness. All loss originates in what we might call dispersed consciousness, the state that allows everything within its scope to escape. When we are conscious of something, we place ourselves in the category of those who have, and more will be given to us. As soon as we become aware of things, we begin to acquire more and more. When you are conscious of wisdom and spiritual power will be granted to you in greater abundance. Conversely, when you start to lose conscious control of things, thoughts or powers, you begin to lose more and more of those possessions until they ultimately vanish. When you feel internally that things are slipping from your control, you are losing your conscious command over them, and eventually you will lose everything unless you change your state of consciousness. On the other hand, when you feel internally that you are gaining more and more, or that things are beginning to converge within your sphere of existence, then more and more will be granted to you until you possess all you desire. The secret lies in the inner feeling. The inner feeling is the secret, and it is this inner feeling that determines whether you will be among those who have or those who have not. When you feel internally that you are gaining more, you are among those who have, and more will be given to you. But when you feel internally that you are losing what you have, you are among those who have not, and what you possess will be taken away even further. When we understand that the mind is the cause, and that everything we gain can come from the mind acting as the cause, we discover that all possession depends on the attitude of the mind. Since we have the power to maintain the mind in any desired attitude, all the laws of gain and possession are within our hands. When this discovery is made, we begin to achieve conscious possession of ourselves. The one who possesses themselves will be given all other things. Consciousness of power within. To feel that you are the power behind other powers, and that you can determine what comes and what goes, is to become aware of the fact that you are something. In doing so, you become conscious of something within yourself that is real, substantial, and truly supreme in your world. Becoming aware of something within yourself is to have something, and to have something is to gain more. Therefore, by becoming conscious of that which is real within yourself, you place yourself among those who have, and more will be given to you. To acquire consciousness of the real within yourself is to acquire consciousness of the real in life. The more you feel the reality of life, the more real life becomes. The result is that your consciousness of life's reality constantly expands, encompasses more, and assimilates more. In other words, it becomes cumulative. When this understanding is achieved, you gain conscious mastery over life and gradually acquire conscious mastery over everything that exists in life. Conscious mastery and possession. This conscious mastery means increasing control over life, and control always brings with it an increase in possession. Whatever you are conscious of within yourself becomes your internal possession. Everything you take possession of within yourself can be constructively used in your sphere of existence. Anything used constructively is productive, and products in any realm constitute wealth in that realm. The more conscious you are of yourself and your life, the greater your ability to create and produce within your field of action. The more wealth you produce, the greater your possessions, as long as you have learned to retain the fruits of your talents. The upward spiral of the mind. When we examine these laws from another perspective, we find that the consciousness of the real within ourselves generates an upward tendency in the mind. Every time the mind begins to ascend, the law of action and reaction continues to propel it upward indefinitely. Each upward action of the mind triggers a reaction that drives it even higher. As the mind rises, a second upward action manifests, more powerful than the first. This, in turn, generates a second reaction stronger than the first. and the mind ascends much farther the second time than the first. The fact is that when the mind enters an upward spiral, the law of action and reaction will perpetuate the ascent as long as the mind remains consciously interested in the progress it is experiencing. However, the moment the mind loses interest in advancing, the law reverses, and the mind begins to descend. Maintain interest in progress. Therefore, take note of this law within yourself and maintain a conscious interest in every step you take. You will ascend continuously on life's scale without limits. When the mind is on an upward trajectory, it becomes increasingly greater, more powerful, and more competent. As a result, it will be sought after where rewards are greater and opportunities more abundant. A mind in this state will naturally advance in successive and rapid steps. More and more will be given to this mind because it has placed itself among those who have. The secret to endless gain. The secret to gaining more, regardless of circumstances, is to remain perpetually on the upward path of the mind. No matter how things seem, keep elevating your mind. Each upward step adds power to the mind, and this additional power will produce further results in the tangible world. When you observe these positive results, your mind gains greater confidence, and confidence always brings more power. On the other hand, when you allow your mind to fall into decline because of circumstances, you lose power. This loss of power prevents you from working effectively or utilizing the things and conditions around you optimally. As a result, things continue to deteriorate further. Perseverance and positive thinking. When things seem to be going wrong, stay on the right path and keep moving forward. Eventually, things will align themselves. This is a law that works and never fails. When we allow ourselves to become discouraged because things seem to be going wrong, we adopt what might be called the mental attitude of letting go. When we stop holding on to things, they begin to slip away. We must hold on to things ourselves if we want to retain them. The secret to keeping what we have is to maintain a positive mental attitude that perpetually ascends toward what is greater and better. The laws of life will continue to give to those in the attitude of receiving, and these same laws will take away from those in the attitude of losing. Changing circumstances through consciousness. When you create a change within yourself, you will feel that circumstances are also changing to some degree. If you persist in this feeling, everything in your life will positively follow the direction you have taken. As you advance, everything in your world will advance, as long as you keep moving forward. This is explained by the law of action and reaction. Ultimately, everything depends on consciousness, as it determines how all forces, elements, powers, or faculties act. They are all under its control. If your consciousness lacks proper control over things, the power within you will also lack control. But when your consciousness possesses control, all the powers within you will firmly control everything you face. Developing a cumulative consciousness. To develop cumulative consciousness, that is, consciousness that has complete mastery over things, train your mind to feel internally that you have complete dominion over your entire being. Feel that you possess yourself. Affirm that you possess yourself. Constantly maintain the thought that you own yourself and everything within you. Eventually, you will realize that you have absolute mastery over yourself. Some people naturally possess this conscious feeling, and without fail, they acquire vast possessions, whether tangible or higher spiritual wisdom and powers. However, anyone can develop this state of conscious possession of their being by steadfastly holding the conviction, everything I am is mine. When you begin to feel that you possess yourself, you truly hold something within your consciousness, and according to the laws of gain and possession, you will acquire more and more endlessly. You are in the same consciousness as those who have, and to you more will be given. You have established the internal cause of possession through the conscious ownership of your entire inner life, and the effect of this cause, namely, the continuous increase in external possessions, must inevitably follow. In short, you have applied the great law. To those who have, more will be given. A life worth living. For most ordinary people, life may seem devoid of meaning because they have not discovered the greatest possibilities of their true existence. They are often taught to believe that accumulating wealth or achieving fame are the only worthwhile accomplishments. If they lack the skills to attain these goals, they may feel condemned to a limited existence. However, for those who have been touched by ambition or glimpsed a higher ideal, mere existence is not enough. This can lead to a life of dissatisfaction and discontent. These individuals must learn that there are other opportunities in life beyond mere survival. Regardless of their intellectual capacity, when these other opportunities are seized, they can bring as much or even more happiness than that achieved by those who have won the admiration of the world. As one learns to live for these other aspects of life, living becomes a true art, and one begins to experience a life that is genuinely worth living. The true riches of existence. Many people base their sense of worth and satisfaction on the amount of financial income they earn. If this income is limited and there seems to be no prospect of increasing it, they may feel their lives are largely meaningless. This is not because their lives are inherently meaningless, but because they have not discovered the true riches of existence. The problem lies in their perspective. They rely heavily on material possessions rather than on their own being. They must learn that there are other reasons to live beyond a paycheck and what that paycheck can buy. The value of a person's life is not measured by the quantity of material goods they possess, but by the quality of their life experience. True life value does not stem from the accumulation of material wealth, but from self-realization. Happiness is a state of mind that arises not from what one has, but from what one is. Self-realization and material success. It is important to note, however, that those who become self-realized individuals will eventually achieve more, provided they apply their talents and skills in practice. Their achievements will be of high quality, whether manifested in the material world or in the realms of mind, consciousness, and spirit. The average person faces the challenge of determining what they can accomplish in their current situation. They may not currently be earning much and may not see clear opportunities to increase their income. Yet they live in a vast ocean of opportunities, many of which can be seized immediately. Developing a great personality. The first of these opportunities is the possibility of developing oneself into a great personality. It is important to remember that doing great things in the world is not the only way to find meaning and worth. Being an exceptional person in one's own life holds equal or even greater value. Those who work on becoming great in their personal lives are destined to accomplish great things in the future. Sometimes, people with practical skills exert themselves excessively to achieve something grand that garners the world's attention, while those who lack such skills feel dissatisfied for not receiving the same recognition. However, at present, neither group finds happiness. Much of their energy is devoted to creating things that often lack value, postponing the creation of magnificent personalities for the future. The power of self-transformation. The ability to do great things in the world is not the only valuable capacity a human possesses. Everyone has the power to transform themselves to reflect all that is great, beautiful, and ideal. Begin now to rebuild your own personality, understanding that you have the power to create an exceptional version of your current self. This is a deeply rewarding and achievable purpose from the start. Witnessing your personality evolve and express the best and most beautiful aspects of your ideals will greatly enhance your joy and sense of worth in life. While many people wonder how much money they can earn in the next 10 years, it is equally valuable to ask, how much happiness can I experience in this time? How much brilliance can I develop in my mind? How magnificent can I become in terms of body, character, and soul? Living beyond material ambitions. By living and working toward these goals, you will continuously enrich your life and find that earning money becomes more accessible than it would be if you focused solely on material gain. There are uncommon ambitions that can captivate our attention with exceptional benefits, for they not only hold intrinsic value, but also lead to many other valuable outcomes. The desire to make the most of life not only makes life intensely interesting, but also grants more power. Living a great life results in greater power, and this increase in power enables the pursuit of other ambitions, enriching life from virtually any perspective imaginable. The greatest ambition, to live fully. When someone declares that their greatest ambition is to live fully, they choose the most interesting, fulfilling, enriching, and complete path life can offer. Making life itself a goal is a continuous celebration. Since all increases in power come from increases in life, the ambition to live becomes the greatest ambition of all and the means by which all other ambitions can be realized. If you feel your current life falls short of your desires, do not deem it empty. Do not rely solely on limited external circumstances. Instead, begin to explore the limitless life and power that reside within your inner world. Through this approach, you will find genuine purpose for living and experience a life truly worth living. Expressing the riches of the inner world. You will discover the true riches of existence, and these riches will increase your personal power and worth, enabling you to seize opportunities that lead to tangible achievements. When the material world seems to offer no new opportunities, dedicate your efforts to further beautifying your body, character, and soul as the years go by. Make this your ambition. If you strive with all your might to fulfill it, you will find far greater satisfaction in achieving it than in amassing a great fortune. Live to express in your body, mind, and soul all that is noble, beautiful, and ideal in your sublime nature. By doing so, you will not only experience boundless joy, but also become an inspiration to the entire world. The limitless joy of beauty and expression. A life expressed through beauty and surrounded by beauty holds immeasurable value for the human mind. There is no limit to the joy and wealth a human being can obtain through what is truly beautiful. Beauty not only brings happiness, but also opens the mind to the higher realms from which all that is noble, great, and ideal originates. Giving expression to the riches of the inner world in one's personal life has far greater value for oneself and humanity than accumulating any amount of material possessions in the external world. Those who pursue only material riches rarely find happiness, and their legacy is often fleeting. In contrast, those who live to express mental and spiritual wealth experience boundless happiness and leave an enduring legacy. No matter how modest your current position, how limited your resources, or how scarce your opportunities may seem, you can begin now to give expression to the vast riches of your inner world. Over time, you can become a source of inspiration for future generations and leave an indelible mark on history. Living with the purpose of developing the riches of the mind and soul can attract the attention of millions of people who do not find satisfaction in the pursuit of material possessions. Those who adopt these ambitions as their main goals can expect a rich and rewarding future, and their present will be filled with interest and happiness in all its forms. Developing a charming personality, living a long and happy life, and maintaining health, youth, and vitality are ambitions that can provide great satisfaction and will receive recognition from society. Living with the purpose of unfolding the latent powers of your being is an infinitely interesting pursuit, rich in future possibilities. Psychologists recognize that the latent capabilities in humans are practically limitless. Therefore, we should not feel that there are no longer any challenges to conquer. We are on the threshold of even vaster inner worlds and emotions than any visionary has ever imagined. No matter how modest our current position may seem, the opportunities presented to us in the inner world are so vast and numerous that it would take eternity to explore them all. Although the external world may not have yet offered much to live for, the inner world is filled with such rich and wonderful possibilities that every moment can become a feast worthy of gods. The doors to this inner world are open, and those who wish to enter can begin living a truly grand life. When we observe life in its true nature, we realize that there is so much to live for and so much to achieve and attain that even eternity would seem insufficient. The question we must solve is to determine what the grandest endeavor we can undertake is at this moment. The solution lies in committing to live fully in the present, no matter what it may be. Seize the most meaningful opportunity within your reach at this moment and begin working on the realization of your full potential. By doing this, you will make your ideals a reality as you move along the path. Each step will lead you into richer worlds and realms of what you have never imagined. It is clear that when we learn to live a life that is truly worth living, no moment will be empty, boring, or meaningless. There is so much to live, enjoy, and do, and life, when lived authentically, is full of interest, constantly revealing the greatness of its vast, transcendent domains. Those who commit to living with the purpose of experiencing and possessing as many facets of life as possible will find an outlet for every ambition and aspiration that arises in their minds. Life will be a constant celebration, and existence will become a continuous progress towards the highest achievements and the greatest realizations that a brilliant mind can conceive as its goal. The power of faith. When everything becomes possible, faith is the key that connects us to the vast powers of universal life, making the impossible possible. Faith goes beyond mere belief. It is an inner perception that reveals the grand possibilities of our being. When faith is active, consciousness expands, overcoming barriers and reaching new levels of understanding. This mental power enables us to accomplish any task, increasing our capacity and recognition. Faith is crucial for expanding consciousness toward unlimited life, power, and wisdom, allowing us to reach our highest goals. Modern psychology, however, has revealed and conclusively demonstrated that no faculty can be improved unless its conscious field of action is expanded and fully developed. Therefore, to enhance the effectiveness of any faculty, it is essential that the related conscious action is expanded and filled with vitality. This fundamental principle underlies all progress. However, consciousness will not expand unless it perceives that there is a reality beyond its current scope. It is through the inner perception fostered by faith that we discover that the greater reality beyond our current limitations is tangible. The lack of this inner vision is the main obstacle preventing most people from reaching their full potential. Their minds lack the capacity to recognize the latent potential in their broader nature. They are limited to focusing on their goals and can only use the power that those goals allow. They are unaware that they harbor unlimited power within themselves and do not understand that they can access this vast inner power to achieve not just more, but everything they have in mind. 3 groups of humanity. Because they lack the ability to look beyond their current achievements, the small world in which they live is all they consider real. Occasionally, they experience a glimpse of a grand dream or vision, but these often fade, and on the rare occasions when the vision persists, they often lack the knowledge to turn that ideal into reality. Humanity is divided into 3 groups: those who live in the limited world and never glimpse anything beyond those limitations, those who reside in the limited world but have brief glimpses of something greater, though they lack the knowledge and power to materialize their dreams. Individuals who are constantly advancing from the lesser to the greater, turning every ideal into reality as soon as they fully understand it. While the 3rd group is small, today there are millions of people on the brink of a broader sphere of existence. For this reason, we should promote a greater movement of faith than has ever been known. What these millions need is more faith to enter the beautiful life they envision before them. The role of faith in progress. As your faith increases, you feel stronger and more confident that you will achieve the desired results. This is because faith always connects the mind to the greatest, the broadest, and the inexhaustible. On the other hand, you can have abundant energy but not clearly see how to apply it to achieve the desired results. Again, the solution is to have more faith. Faith elevates the mind and consciousness above doubt, uncertainty, and confusion. As you rise through faith, you enter the light and can see clearly how to proceed. However, we must avoid a common mistake when we discover the power of faith. Sometimes we rely solely on it and neglect other faculties. We may conclude that it doesn't matter how we act or think as long as we have enough faith, believing that faith will solve everything. However, this approach shows that we have not fully understood the true meaning of faith. When we possess true and deep faith, we recognize that all our thoughts and actions must be aligned to achieve results, and all our faculties and powers must be used to the fullest to make the ideal a reality. Although vision is essential, it is not enough on its own. Once we visualize an ideal, we must put it into practice. We must apply principles and take concrete actions, which require both intelligence and practical skill. Faith without action is inert and accomplishes nothing. It is as if it does not exist. Likewise, work without faith tends to be mediocre and lacks true meaning. But when work and faith are combined, everything becomes possible. Faith drives the power of action and work becomes increasingly effective. Whatever our purpose, we will reach great heights. The great principle is to unite unwavering faith with skilled work. Work with all the skill you can develop, but infuse each of your efforts with the powerful spirit of inexhaustible faith. Develop your intellect and your mind as much as possible, but animate your deep knowledge with the supreme spirit of faith. Faith does not replace art, skill, or intelligence. Rather, it empowers them and brings them to their fullest expression. Faith brings true essence to art, skill, and intellect, infusing life and renewed power into all actions, both physical and mental. It opens the door that allows all our efforts to reach higher and greater levels. Faith is not limited only to moral and spiritual life, nor reserved solely for what we sometimes call efforts of a higher nature. It is relevant in all endeavors and has the power to propel them with such energy and force that success is practically inevitable, regardless of the nature of the work. Whoever has faith in their labor, faith in themselves, faith in humanity, and faith in the divine, simply cannot fail. When you infuse the power of your faith into everything you undertake, it is important to leave behind the notion that faith is something separate from daily life, or that it only concerns the future salvation of the soul. This belief has persisted for a long time, resulting in the separation of true faith from human existence. Today, very few people truly understand the meaning of faith. The truth is that if you are not applying your faith in everything you do, whether physical, mental, or spiritual, you have not yet attained true faith. When faith comes, it does not come to give greater power to a specific part of your life. Its purpose is to confer a superior power to your life as a whole, and to empower all your activities to achieve greater effectiveness and better results. With true faith, you do not undertake anything without first placing yourself in the highest attitude of faith. Even in the simplest tasks, you always approach them with the spirit of faith. This is fundamental because if you become accustomed to giving your best in small things, it will soon become a natural habit to give your best in all situations. When facing challenges of great importance that may seem difficult, you will not be discouraged. You will find yourself fully prepared for the occasion. The more you exercise faith, the stronger it makes you. So it is beneficial to use faith at all times and in all your activities. When we understand that faith is the factor that elevates the mind to higher levels of life and sets outstanding powers in motion, it becomes clear how to proceed. As we immerse ourselves in faith, focusing more and more on this higher facet of our nature, this more virtuous and awe-inspiring side, we gradually become aware of its extraordinary possibilities. Soon we can feel how the power of this superiority strengthens everything we undertake, whether in our mind or in our body. To develop the power of faith, the first step is to train the mind to keep its attention constantly on the unlimited dimension of life. That is, to live at the highest level of our being and think of the true essence of faith as well as its deep meaning. When you focus your mind on the inner aspect of faith, it illuminates. Your faculties are strengthened and your entire being feels a greater vitality. The evidence that you can perform higher quality work while maintaining a mindset of faith is undeniable. While in this state, not only will you improve your current work, but you will also constantly develop the skill and ability to tackle more challenging tasks, jobs that are more beneficial to the community and more profitable for yourself. The world values well-done work and is willing to generously reward those who perform it with excellence. We all seek the best, and whether consciously or unconsciously, we strive to give the best of ourselves. However, without faith, it is impossible to reach our maximum potential, offer the best of ourselves, or carry out the best possible work. Give your best, and the best will come to you as a reward. The universe is governed by justice, and you will receive what you deserve if you have faith in it. In life, everything tends toward a higher value, and since justice is a universal principle, the more valuable you are as a person, the greater the value of the things you will receive in your life. A worthy soul is always enriched with things that have genuine value. When we learn to align with the laws of existence, we place ourselves in a position where we can not only give more of what has value, but also receive everything that truly belongs to us. Whether you work in the commercial, professional, artistic, or intellectual world, regardless of your occupation, to obtain the best results, you must have faith. If your current work does not satisfy you, do not rush to change immediately. Instead, continue doing your current work with that higher mentality of faith. You may discover that your current work is what you truly desire, or that, if it is not what you are destined for, it will become the path to a field of action that pleases you. All of this will happen as long as you infuse your current work with all the faith you are capable of. Become the best in your field, no matter what your sphere of action is, because by doing so, You will not only increase the number of exceptional minds in the world, but also immeasurably contribute to the welfare and joy of the world. Whoever combines their work with unwavering faith will become the supreme leader and the best in their field. However, in applying faith, you must not focus all your attention solely on improving your work. You must especially focus on improving yourself. As you perfect yourself, your ability to perform better work will increase, but the process of perfecting yourself will be incomplete and insufficient unless, day after day, you apply to your work what you have developed within yourself. Grant the power of each moment to both your personal growth and your current work performance. In doing so, you will fulfill that dual purpose in life, which will inevitably lead you to great heights. Develop more power, skill, and faith, and combine them in every task you undertake. Through the power of faith, you will not only visualize higher and higher ideals, but also strengthen your practical ability. In other words, you will not only gain the ability to glimpse the ideal, but also acquire the skill to practically apply what you have conceived. You will turn into reality in daily life what the visions of your soul have revealed in the ideal life. As your faith grows, this power will expand so much that there will be no ideal you cannot make real. You will have come into contact with an unlimited power, the supreme power, and therefore for you, all things will be possible. The art of obtaining what we desire is often said to be that we get what we want when we no longer need it. This may be true for many, as desires are often not aligned with our true needs. Personal desires can be driven by external influences and are rarely in tune with our inner growth. Instead, following the desires of the soul, which seek our greatest good, leads to a fuller and more meaningful life. The key is to discern what we truly desire and focus on what is essential for our present development. In this way, we live to become more of what we are, constantly growing in greatness and capacity. It is essential that every desire is focused on the present, driven by the supreme desire to become a more powerful personality, a stronger character, a brighter mind, and a greater soul. Live constantly with the desire to receive the best life has to offer today, trusting that all circumstances are working together for the good in this very moment, and that everything necessary to promote the highest well-being will come abundantly during the great eternal now. This desire must be so strong that it fills your heart and soul with all the power of life, and every present moment must be imbued with the spirit of desire. The result will be that the best will continue to come into your world constantly, and everything necessary to make your life full and complete in the present will be added more and more abundantly. It is important to understand that it is not necessary to go through illness, problems, or misfortunes to attain peace and comfort. When difficulties arise, they are generally the result of mistakes or the pursuit of artificial desires. Instead of consoling oneself with the idea that everything happens for the best, it is preferable to live with the faith that all things work together for good from the beginning. If you live with a strong desire for the best and only the best, you will receive the best that you can appreciate and enjoy in the present. The belief that we must endure hardships to reach peace and comfort is an illusion that we must overcome. The true process of purification and refinement comes from a deeper and higher awareness of the divinity within the human being. This process of refinement can only take place in a state of mental peace, harmony, and spiritual joy. The belief that we must fight for our rights is an illusion, just as the belief that we must overcome evil. The higher law tells us that if we are right in all things, our rights will be recognized in all things. If we rise above all things, we will not need to overcome anything. Living in the spirit of unlimited supply means that we do not have to demand anything from any source because we are living in the life of abundance. It is important to remember that we should never turn our desires into mental demands, but rather live in a state of faith and gratitude, knowing that our requests will be answered even before they are fulfilled. Sincere gratitude must be an integral part of our lives, even before our desires manifest externally. The prayer that rises through the spirit of faith and the soul filled with gratitude, both fused in unity, always finds an answer, whether it is uttered silently or aloud. The longings that emerge in such a prayer are driven by the inner divinity, and therefore reflect the authenticity of life. These are the desires of the soul. They belong to the present and manifest in the moment we yearn for them and need them. When we fail to achieve what we desire, it is because our longings are artificial or tainted by false and distorted desires, which obstruct the action of universal law in our favor. In such circumstances, the imperative question arises: what is the purpose of my existence? We must then purify those desires suggested by the world and retain only those that aspire to the highest state of perfection for all humanity. To obtain what you need or desire, it is imperative to change the habitual pattern of desiring. Instead of longing for specific objects or conditions, aspire to that higher life and greater power that can generate what you need. First, focus your desires on life, power, ability, greatness, personal superiority, and exceptional spiritual achievements. Do not long for specific environments, material objects, or particular conditions. Let the supreme power take care of that. When it begins to act, it will provide you with the most favorable environments, the most valuable possessions, and the perfect conditions you can imagine. Put authentic life first, and all the beautiful and perfect manifestations of this life, in body, mind, and spirit, will be added to you constantly. Follow the longings of the soul, and you will receive everything necessary, not only to enrich the soul, but also to nourish the mind and body. Seek the source of all goodness, and you will receive all the goods you long for. Paths to happiness. Achievable happiness for all is based on simple principles. However, few experience it fully because they seek it selfishly. Instead, we must seek what generates it. Happiness results from various aspects in harmony. It does not come from possessions, but from being authentic. To achieve it, we must express our true nature. This is accomplished with simple methods applied regularly in daily life. Happiness does not depend on a single cause, but on multiple ideal states. Therefore, by living fully as authentic beings, we find happiness constantly. The fundamental principles needed to achieve continuous happiness are as follows. Live a simple life. Living a simple and beautiful life does not mean renouncing beauty or progress, but rather eliminating what is not essential and focusing on what truly matters for our maximum well-being. This does not mean returning to primitive conditions or settling for little, but managing our possessions consciously and eliminating the superfluous. It is important to avoid extremes and ensure that simplification does not deprive our life of beauty and harmony. Clearing the mind of what is not essential helps us simplify our immediate environment and live without unnecessary burdens. Live a serene life. Maintain calm, peace, tranquility, and composure in all situations and at all times. It is important to remember that confusion and haste deplete our energy. In reality, depression and melancholy often originate from cases where our vital energy is low. By living a serene and peaceful life, if done authentically, we will keep our energy levels high. When you are full of life and energy, you also experience greater spiritual vitality and joy. Our saddest moments are often the direct result of chaotic thoughts and a chaotic life. Therefore, these sad moments will completely disappear when our thoughts and life become serene and peaceful. It is not necessary to live a hectic life to achieve great things. Our focus should be on quality rather than quantity. We do not seek to do many things, but to do things right. If we can do many things excellently, that is fine, but we must first cultivate serenity in our minds. Our capacity will increase as we develop mental and emotional peace, and nothing promotes the growth of mental and physical capacity more than living a calm and serene life. Fall in love with the world. He who gives love abundantly receives love in return, and there is nothing in this world that can provide greater joy and happiness than having an abundance of genuine love. Selfish love, which focuses on the personal and requires gratification to be experienced, only provides fleeting pleasure, the consequences of which are often suffering. When we love with a love that seeks no immediate reciprocation, we feel unhappy when we do not receive that love in return, and this type of selfish love rarely generates genuine love. In contrast, when we love everyone with a pure soul love, a love that seeks no reward but loves simply because it is our nature to love, then we are loved positively in return. This does not occur occasionally, but encompasses many people. Experiencing selfless love and feeling loved, not because we expect something in return, but because love flows freely, is a source of immeasurable and boundless joy. This bliss is available to all right now. The simple secret lies in loving the whole world at all times and in all circumstances, loving sincerely with all your heart, and all that happens in life will add to both the joy of the mind and the deepest joys of the soul. Be helpful. Offer the world the best you have, and the best will return to you. Do not hold back anything. If you have something to share with the world, share it without reservation today. Do your best for everyone, not expecting a reward, but because it is inherent in your nature. Be all that you can be, and do all that you can do. Never limit your effort to what you are paid for, as this mentality has kept many people in poverty throughout their lives. Remember that reward is a result, not a cause. Do not place the reward above the act of service. Increase your service, and the reward will grow in proportion. In this way, you will not only position yourself to receive more blessings in life, but will live in a state where you will express more and more of the blessings that exist in your own life. The greatest joy comes from expressing our inner riches, not just from acquiring external goods. The profound satisfaction of the soul that we experience when we provide valuable service to others is one of the deepest and most uplifting joys we can know. Those who are most valuable wherever they go are often the happiest. We all have the capacity to serve in countless ways. Therefore, we can increase our happiness in various ways by always remembering to be and do the best we can, no matter where we are in the world. Think and speak about the beautiful. Every word or thought you share will return to you. Avoid speaking words that discourage or sadden others, as these actions will also affect you. Those who cause unhappiness in others end up experiencing their own unhappiness. On the other hand, those who contribute to others' joy constantly add joy to their own lives. If you have something good to say about someone, express it. This will not only bring joy to the other person, but also to you. Try to see the positive side of each individual. Everyone has a beautiful side. Find it and focus only on that. This way, you will live in a world full of beauty, and those who reside in such a world are naturally happy people. Treat everyone with kindness and courtesy in your words and thoughts. When every word is imbued with the spirit of goodness and joy, you will not only increase the power of joy in your own life, but will also be planting seeds of joy in the garden of universal life. One day, you will reap abundantly what you have sown. If you maintain this constant attitude of sowing, your harvest will be uninterrupted. Thus you will enjoy an endless harvest of joy every day of your existence. Forgive and forget everything that seems wrong. Often we have felt tired for many days because we insisted on remembering unpleasant things. Forgetting the bad will free us from its disturbance. Forgiving others for their actions allows us to avoid unpleasant memories that cloud the sky of our mental world. When others speak ill of us, we should not worry. Let them express themselves if necessary. Nothing can harm us more than our own mistaken thoughts and attitudes. If people do not treat us well, we should remember that they would act differently if they had a clearer understanding. We know we should not take it as an offense, so let us forgive everything and decide to be happy. Let us forgive everyone for what is wrong, and forget what does not lead us on the right path. We have no time to worry about wrongs and problems that only exist in our memory. Our memory is meant for something better. Let us remember the good, the true, and the beautiful, for this is one of the greatest secrets to constant happiness. When we forgive those who have hurt us, we often come to a point where we think about those people more than we did before. At that moment, we experience a joy that is indescribably sweet and beautiful, as though a blessing has come directly from the sky and does not disappear. This shows that those who learn to forgive ascend in the scale of life. Those who can forget and forgive the afflictions of life's lowest situations invariably reach heights where they find true happiness. This is the reward of forgiveness. Therefore, it will not be difficult to forgive when we understand that the results are so rich and beautiful. Forgiving and forgetting what seems wrong will become an act we wish to carry out. Be content with the present. Much has been said about the value of divine contentment, but in reality, discontent is never divine, just as indignation is never just. Perfect fullness is one of the highest states of the soul, and it is an achievement that inevitably follows an ideal life. However, any form of discontent always indicates that something is not going well in our life. Once we correct this error, we attain constant satisfaction. If our present is not as we wish it to be, discontent will not improve it. We must be completely satisfied with the present and build a future even better. In this way, we will not only improve our circumstances over time, but will also experience supreme happiness every day. The more perfectly satisfied we are in the present, the more power we will have to forge a great future and more mental clarity to make wise decisions in the days to come. When you find the good that you already possess, enjoy it, for better things are on the way. Through contentment, you will be prepared to receive them. Moreover, you will be in a higher mental state that will allow you to recognize opportunities when they arise. People often get distracted by the inner conflict of discontent and cannot see the good things already present in their life. However, being content does not mean that we should be so satisfied with current conditions that we do not desire to change them. True contentment not only fully values the present, but also appreciates the greater powers of life that can continuously add value to the present. Therefore, a satisfied mind makes the most of everything life offers in the eternal present, while constantly enriching the wealth, value, and beauty of this eternal present. The process of growth and advancement inevitably leads to joy. Therefore, if we stop seeking faults and use our time to promote improvements, we will find sources of happiness in every imperfection we encounter in life. In other words, when we strive to improve everything we find, we release all the goodness latent in our world and love the expression of the good in our world, which in turn increases our own measure of joy. Seek the ideal. The constant pursuit of excellence is essential in all areas of life. If possible, seek ideal environments, but if external circumstances limit this possibility, create your own ideal environment from within. Live in your ideal mental universes, regardless of the external world's conditions. Establish close connections with those who embody excellence, and by living a life in your mental and spiritual world, you will attract exceptional people wherever you go. One of life's greatest satisfactions comes from associating with those who rise above the ordinary. We have no time for the common and the mediocre. We long for the optimal. We deserve it. If we can achieve it, we must relentlessly pursue the best and nothing but the best. To develop the whole man, fostering organized growth in every aspect of your being is of utmost importance. Establish perfect harmony of action between all the components of your mind and body, as it is essential for achieving happiness. Cultivate every aspect of your nature and synchronize all elements of your being into perfect harmony. In this way, you will be constantly elevated toward higher states of existence and greater levels of bliss. Many conflicts and misfortunes that arise in life are the direct result of one-sidedness and lack of development, and they can only be permanently eliminated through the full development of the human being. The body, mind, and soul must be perfectly balanced in every sense. The more balanced you are, the greater your happiness will be, for a balanced nature leads to harmony, and harmony leads to happiness. Open the mind only to beautiful thoughts. The world is filled with an infinite variety of thoughts, but only those to which we extend an invitation will find their way to us. Nothing exerts a greater impact on our life than the thoughts we harbor, and these thoughts are intrinsically linked to our mental disposition in the face of the experiences we encounter along our path. When we decide to embrace only beautiful thoughts that come from everything we encounter in our existence, the change we will experience will be notably significant. It will be as if everything is renewed. We will enter a new world where happiness multiplies exponentially. A new heaven and a new earth will unfold before us, providing us with countless reasons to rejoice. Be in contact with the harmony of life. The universe resonates with music, and blessed is the soul that can perceive the symphonies of the heavens. There is no greater joy than this. Any soul attuned to the highest knows the deep pleasure that floods the mind when the sensations of sublime harmony caress every fiber of your being. We all have the capacity to live in such a way that we are in tune with the music that emanates from the spheres. When you learn to be in harmony with the music of life, you can remain for hours on the threshold of eternal joy, immersing yourself in the very essence of something sublime that escapes sight and hearing. At this moment, you understand why the kingdom of heaven resides within you, and why the souls that have discovered that inner life radiate happiness. Here is boundless happiness, the bliss you can experience anywhere, anytime, regardless of your surroundings. Enter the realms of happiness, and you will become the happiest soul in the world. Dedicate every moment to the higher life. A mind that is constantly elevated can never experience sadness. Perpetual ascension brings perpetual joy. The happiest moments manifest when you find yourself ascending on the scale of sublime existence. You are in constant ascent toward the heights, entering the cosmic realms where joy reaches its fullest expression. One single moment in this elevated realm brings more happiness than we could ever conceive, even if a million heavens merged into one. In these domains we enter the secret chambers of the Most High, and entering this sublime state is equivalent to reaching the fullness of happiness that life can offer. This happiness will endure through eternity, creating an ideal environment. Until recently, most people believed that circumstances were immovable, dictated by an unquestionable fate. We trusted in chance and luck without understanding the laws that govern everything. However, many of us have changed this view thanks to a new understanding. Still, some cling to the old belief, unaware that we can shape our own destiny. This power can be scientifically demonstrated by anyone. At first, the idea of changing our environment through psychological and metaphysical laws may seem fanciful, but upon closer analysis, we see that the principles involved are natural and applicable in everyday life. If your current environment does not satisfy you, you have the power to change it and make it ideal. This knowledge must root itself in our minds to overcome any doubts about our power. It is essential to firmly believe in the possibility of change to achieve real results. Positive faith in our potential is the key to transforming our environment. We must consistently apply the principles with this conviction to succeed. To create an ideal environment, we must first understand what truly constitutes it. It is not limited to the physical. It includes our mental, emotional, moral, and spiritual worlds. Beautifying and perfecting these facets is essential for improving our environment. The world in which we work with our hands and minds is only part of our environment, as is the space where we pursue our dreams and ideals. All circumstances of our life, both physical and mental, are part of our world, from the people we interact with to the thoughts that occupy our minds. This world is complex, and much of it is related to our mental aspect, so any change must involve mental laws, in addition to physical ones. To understand our world, we must realize that we are the creators of our environment. There are two types of creation: direct, where we create through our own actions and thoughts, and indirect, where others create what we desire, but we choose it. Our world may be a combination of our creations and those of others, but it is always influenced by our mind. It is crucial to understand why some people choose to live in environments created by others, rather than forging their own world. The human mind is the determining factor in all our actions and decisions. Transforming our mind allows us to improve our environment. Before we move forward, we must recognize which parts of our world are created by ourselves, while the rest comes from the minds with which we interact the most, at home and at work. Each person contributes to shaping the shared world, even as they live in their own mental world. When we strengthen our mind, we can withstand adverse conditions in these environments and access a more favorable one. Over time, when a group of people comes together with the right mindset, they awaken an incredible power that enables them to achieve almost anything. Therefore, it is crucial to understand and apply these higher mental laws when creating a shared world. Many people stray from their true world by associating with people, environments, or occupations that do not align with their true nature. This happens when we allow lower aspects of our nature or our senses to guide us. However, it is not necessary to enter an inferior world. By following the best that resides within us, we ascend to higher, more enriching worlds, constantly improving our internal and external lives. By following what is best in any situation, we continue to manifest the ideal in the world we inhabit, progressively improving it until it reflects the beauty of our deepest visions. Change your own destiny. When you realize you are living in a world you did not create, and it is not as you wish, the most common reaction is to want to quickly escape those conditions. But changing from one place to another without addressing the underlying cause will get you nowhere. Many people think that the only solution when things go wrong is to change the external conditions. However, these conditions are merely results of internal causes. As long as these causes remain the same, changing the external will have no lasting effect. If there are issues inside you, they will reflect outside, no matter where you are. Therefore, before trying to change what surrounds you, you must first change within yourself. Let things be as they are for now, and work on yourself while waiting for a better quality. Do not stay inactive, but also do not strive to change externally without changing internally. You arrived at this situation through deceptive judgments. If you let yourself be guided by those judgments again, you will be in another world that is not right for you either. Your goal is not simply to change worlds, but to improve yourself in order to create the world you desire. You are not ready to change physically or mentally until you have created a world that reflects your desires. Obsessing over external changes will distract you from the true purpose. You must focus on internal changes first. Changing the external before the internal will get you nowhere. If you want to change your destiny, start by changing yourself. Do not abandon your current environment until you naturally find something better. Simply moving without resolving the causes will lead you to another equally challenging place. When you face challenges, do not combat them directly. Struggling only generates more resistance. Instead of resisting, accept the conditions with harmony. Even the most difficult situations can transform into something beneficial if you accept them. The power to harmonize opposing factions is astounding. Not only will you benefit, but you will also gain respect and opportunities. Learn to harmonize the opposing factions in your life, and you will enter new worlds with better circumstances and opportunities. If you're not completely satisfied with your current friends, focus on their positive qualities. This will help you develop superior qualities in yourself, which is essential to move forward in life. Work on yourself, increase your personal worth, and perfect your character. It is essential to have a positive mindset. Your mindset, personality, and positive character attract what you cultivate internally. The relationship between a person and their environment demonstrates that internal change leads to external change in destiny and circumstances. The environment reflects the ability. Circumstances are events created by your actions and connections with others, like attracts like. Mental and spiritual wealth is more valuable than physical wealth. The accumulation of this wealth improves the external environment. Continuous improvement leads to positive changes in destiny and circumstances. Modifying circumstances is equivalent to changing destiny. Any change will be positive if power is increased according to ideals. Cultivate quality in your being, and you will attract like-minded friends and connections. Forge a better destiny from within, building your own ideal world. Creating your own ideal world involves two fundamental steps. First, you must begin building everything you can imagine in your ideal vision. Second, it is crucial to continue transforming your world according to ever higher ideals. It is important to persevere in the constant improvement of your environment, as halting progress can lead to regression. Those who persist in rising above the inferior and always strive to reach the best continuously enjoy the highest rewards. To begin this process of transformation, it is essential that your mindset undergoes constant change, adjusting to your most recent thoughts and highest ideals. Your mind is the driving force behind any action you manifest in your external environment. The starting point lies in the mind and its components. You must direct all your desires, motivations, and ambitions toward the greatest and most perfect in your respective areas of influence. Coherence must prevail in all mental states, adapting to both the internal and external conditions of life. Every mental attribute must experience constant growth, and your consciousness must operate continuously within the limits of the unlimited. The realm of thought must be renewed, expanded, and perfected perpetually, and every advancement in the mental realm must manifest and be applied in practice in the external world. It is important to keep your ideal rooted in your consciousness and continuously visualize your desired goal. When you consistently focus your mental states on your supreme goal, your creative forces work tirelessly toward that goal, rebuilding your world daily in accordance with the highest, the best, and the greatest you can imagine. It is essential to highlight that many brilliant minds are stagnant today because they constantly change their plans, motivations, and desires. To create a new world, you must fix in your mind what you wish to create, and then continue building until the structure is complete. All elements of your mind, both conscious and subconscious, must be constantly aligned with your highest vision of the greatest, best, and most beautiful. Do not allow any inferior thought or anything below your ideal life to permeate your mind and leave no space for discouragement or doubt. The mind plays a key role in building an ideal world. It is the mind that carries out actions and originates manifestations. Therefore, to build your own ideal world, your mind must function in all aspects, and each element of your mind must work in the best possible way. To use your mind effectively, it is essential to guide the imagination precisely. Imagination is one of the most crucial faculties of the mind. When misdirected, it can generate more problems than any other faculty, but when used properly, it can generate more benefits than any other. Train your imagination to visualize not only the goal you have in mind, but also all the highest ideals you can conceive within the scope of that goal. In your pursuit of building your ideal world, it is beneficial to take full advantage of all opportunities that arise. However, these opportunities will only present themselves to those who prove their worth. You must show the world that you have merit to be able to choose from a wide range of opportunities. Capable and powerful minds, those that can generate results, are highly sought after. A powerful mind is always surrounded by opportunities to influence its environment and expand its scope of action. Therefore, you can enter a new world virtually at any moment. However, these opportunities do not materialize on their own. It is the individual who must elevate themselves to meet these opportunities. Align your level with the best, and you will connect with outstanding people. Learn to perform your tasks exceptionally, produce something the world desires, and the doors to new and greater opportunities will open. From that moment on, you will be able to obtain almost everything you desire, and all the resources you need to build the ideal world you imagine will be within your reach, as you will have become a link to the unlimited supply of the best that life has to offer. Opportunities in this era are abundant, and some hold truly extraordinary possibilities. Those who prepare to meet the requirements of this time will find a range of rich fields that are within their reach, and all minds can prepare as necessary. Train every component of your being to work toward a higher purpose, and you will release the inner powers that will turn you into a mind the world will seek to occupy its most prominent places of action and achievement. When you build an ideal mental world within yourself, a world of power, skill, ability, and high value, it will be necessary to synchronize this mental world with the outer world in a way that promotes coherence in action. The added power of your new mental world must work in harmony with your external world to achieve practical results. Another crucial element in the practical application of your ideals to daily life is the development of what we could call inner insight. This faculty will effectively guide you from the subtleties of life to its tangible realities. In other words, you will clearly see how to integrate your ideal with actions that promote the reconstruction of reality. To unite the ideal vision with reality and merge both aspects into one is crucial to establish the closest possible connection with the subtleties of life and learn to use that phase of the mind that is always in a clear state. Often, the lower part of the mind is clouded with erroneous conclusions about things and filled with ideas influenced by what is perceived through the senses. However, in the upper part of the mind, we can see things as they are, think clearly, and invariably reach the correct conclusions. The power to think in this upper part of the mind, the region of consciousness where the sun always shines and there are no clouds, is known as inner discernment. This inner discernment not only identifies the ideal, but can also perceive the practical possibilities that every ideal contains. We carry out the realization of the ideal when we proceed to develop and apply in daily life the practical possibilities that our ideals enclose. Moreover, inner insight will elevate all our mental faculties and make them work more efficiently and powerfully. In reality, it will elevate the entire mind to a state of greater power, clarity, and capacity to express elevated and effective thoughts. To develop this inner perception, you must strive to use your consciousness to discern what could be called the intrinsic spirit of all things. Do not limit yourself to thinking of things as they appear on the surface. Try to think of things as they are in their internal essence. The simple act of doing this will develop your ability to see through things and explore their internal essence. The growth of this skill will foster your inner insight. In this way, you will be able to clearly identify the true value and genuine possibilities that exist in the elevated goal you have in mind. By maintaining your focus on that elevated goal without wavering for an instant, all the powers of your being will work together and unite to build what you can glimpse in the heights of that goal. As a result, both your inner and outer worlds will be recreated and continuously rebuilt in the image of your supreme ideals. Consequently, you will not only build an ideal world for yourself, but you will also build a world that becomes increasingly ideal. Living in a world that is increasingly ideal means living in an ideal way. The increasingly ideal world is the environment in which we should live, and the power to create such a world is now within reach of all human minds.